convene the Parker Town Council meeting for March 2nd at 7 p.m. Welcome, everybody. All council members are present. Our two people who are under 18, you guys have a job to do. I need you guys to come down here. She just leaned over and went, oh, great. Okay. So you guys are going to lead us in the most important part.
There's another one over
Oh, we have
there.
another one? Oh, I didn't even see. You guys just came in late. You two ladies, come on down here. You can't sneak in here without me calling you out. Come on, ladies. So, I gave up sweets for Lent. So if you brought any chocolate with you,
I'll take it.
she'll take it with you. Okay. So come forward, guys. Come forward a little bit more. Come forward a little bit more. Okay. So you guys get to lead us in the most important part of today's meeting, and that's honoring our nation and honoring our flag. Don't worry about all the people behind you. They're smiling at you. They all love you. They think you're going to do a great job, so you don't have to worry about it. We're going to all turn around and face the flag. It's going to get really awkwardly quiet. It's up to you guys to start the Pledge of Allegiance, okay? When you start it, I guarantee you everyone behind you will follow along, okay? You guys all ready? All right. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great job, you guys. Fantastic. So while they're taking their seats, there's always that awkward point as well in the Pledge of Allegiance where people go, one nation, pause, under God, but some people go one nation under God, and there's always, which one do I do? So you guys know, because we had a presentation on it in our Rotary Club one time, it was actually written as one nation under God, one sentence. So the people who do it as a pause are wrong. One nation under God.
But
so
it's the cadence, Mike.
It's the cadence. You can still do the cadence. That's how you choose how many syllables are in a word. Joshua Rivero. All right. We're ready to roll, and we have got a really cool special presentation to start off with. I understand we've got some representatives from the Red Cross who are going to come down for our presentation. Is that correct? All right, come on down. If you give us your name and address, please.
Actual address?
Yeah.
Okay.
We know who you are.
All right.
Makeup address, yeah. 123 Main Street.
I'm Sean Schulze. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the American Red Cross in Colorado and Wyoming. And I live at 27503 East Canyon Place in Aurora.
Wonderful. Ooh, he said the A word.
Sorry.
That's okay. So, yeah, floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Nayeli Trejos. I'm the Aquatics Program Manager for the Western U.S. and 376 West Huntington Drive, Arcadia, California, 91007.
Oh, nice.
The American Red Cross Life Saving Awards Program has a long storied history. The program has its roots as far back as 1911. The Life Saving Awards Program has its core, since its inception, always been providing recognition to those in a time of an emergency to use their life-saving skills to save or sustain a life. The Red Cross training gives people the knowledge and skills to act in an emergency and save a life. A variety of online, blended, which is online and in-person skill session, and classroom courses are available online at redcross.org/take-a-class. The Certificate of Merit has borne the signature of 16 presidents of the United States. From 1911, thousands of awards have been issued to individuals who have saved or sustained a life as a direct result of American Red Cross training.
Thank you, Nayeli. Really, I just wanted to say thank you on behalf of all of our staff and on behalf of the American Red Cross for letting us come tonight to say thank you and to say great job on behalf of two heroes. And a hero really for us, me being a retired military guy as well, is someone who has the ability and possibly the training, as they did through the American Red Cross, and the willingness to save a life. And at this point, I really just wanted to bring up Hayden Clark and Madeline Bender, and we'll talk about the award real quick, read the citation, shake a couple hands, and give out these awards.
Excellent.
So, let's walk through this really quickly. Normally we have you do a little dance, but we won't do that today. On July 17th of...
I was going to say, she jumped right into the dance. He stood there for a sec like, what am I supposed to do?
Before I get into this, behind me right now are some of the great instructors and the actual instructors that taught these two how to save a life, and then they went and did it. So I'd like them two to stand up first, if they would. Or one, there we are.
One.
Yeah. And then the others from the American Red Cross that are here that do the same thing every day and across our region of Colorado and Wyoming and help save lives. This is not an award that we give out regularly. This is an award that is just so great and means so much to us. And I hope it means a lot to you as you receive it today. I'm going to read the citation of what they did and then talk a little bit about it. On July 17th of 2019, Hayden Clark and Madeline Bender, both trained in the American Red Cross lifeguarding, first aid, CPR, and AED, good job, helped to save the lives of several teenagers who were ejected from an inflatable tube onto the rocks at Bear Creek Lake Park in Lakewood, Colorado. Madeline and Hayden were patrons of the facility and were witness to an inflatable tube being towed by a boat that ejected 3 teenagers into the rough and rocky shore. Madeline and Hayden assisted the staff who operate at Bear Creek with recovering the teenagers into a ski boat. 2 of the teenagers required spinal immobilization and significant head wound care, including the care of avulsions and significant lacerations. EMS arrived and continued to provide care. 2 of the 3 teenagers were transported to a local facility for further treatment. Without a doubt, the skills learned in the American Red Cross Training Services course helped to save the life of these teenagers. For this act, Madeline Bender and Hayden Clark have been awarded the American Red Cross Certificate of Merit. This action exemplifies the highest degree of concern of one human being for another who is in distress. Madeline and Hayden, I present you with the American Red Cross Certificate of Merit. This is one of the highest awards given by the American Red Cross to an individual or a team of individuals who saves or sustains a life by using skills and knowledge learned in a Red Cross Training Services course. This action exemplifies the highest degree of concern, as said before, of one human being for another who is in distress. The certificate bears the signature of the honorary chairman of the Red Cross, the President of the United States, and the Red Cross chairman, Bonnie McElveen Hunter. Congratulations. If you come around.
You guys mind, just real quick, this guy needs to take a
Yeah,
picture.
he's the newspaper guy, so we want to.
Him in here.
I was gonna say, do you put the pin on his chest and slap it down to see if his Red Cross skills are really good?
How tough are you?
Yeah, exactly. She deserves her own applause, too.
How do you look at the camera?
Then one more.
Sorry, thank you.
I think the clerks are happy about being in the background.
Chris, are you hiding in the background?
Let's give it up for the heroes.
Yes. Fantastic job, guys. All right. Next item up on our agenda is our Parker Chamber of Commerce updates. I do believe we have Omar here.
He got landlocked.
He got landlocked.
There he is.
Mayor and Town Council, excuse me, Omar Castillo, 12509 Prince Creek Drive, Parker, Colorado. Chairman of the board for 2020 for the Parker Area Chamber of Commerce. So just wanted to share a couple things we've been working on. Believe it or not, brace yourselves. 101 days.
Oh my.
We're getting there. So we're super excited. Obviously, we've been working with Dean and Peg on Parker Days and getting that all lined up. Another exciting thing that we've got coming along with Parker Days is we're bringing back actually the Kids Parade. So Councilwoman Cheryl Progue was something, and Jeff brought that up to us to try to get that back. So we're excited about bringing the Kids Parade back. So it'll be before the actual parade at 9 o'clock. So typically we have the parade that starts at 10. So we'll have a little mini Kids Parade before the 10 o'clock parade. So it'll be for kids and all that good stuff. So it'll be very exciting. So we've got that. Number three that I wanted to touch on is we've been really working with our committees within the chamber. So we've got, for example, a membership committee. We're working on creating a retail committee. We've got a government affairs committee. We've got a chamber or a Parker Days committee and a few other committees. So what we're doing with all those committees is kind of just getting out and about in the community, getting some brainstorming and doing some brainstorming with some other folks within the community. So the one I'm really excited about is putting together is the retail community. So we're looking for some folks to help us out with that. So more to come on that. And then last but not least, we're coming back in 2020. We're really going to take a good look at our membership and where are we going, what's happening, where can we help out, and what have we been lacking. So one of the things that we're doing, bringing back, is called the Maximize Your Membership program. So we've in the past had a Maximize Membership 101 and a Maximize Your Membership 201. And the 101 was more for your newer folks, and your 201 was more for your folks that have been in the chamber for quite a while. So we're looking to bring those back. We've got our first one actually this Friday. It's the 101, the first one. So we're bringing a lot of stuff back in 2020 and doing a lot of things that, you know, are for our members. So that's all I've got. Anything else for me?
Council, questions for Omar?
Got a busy week. Got lunch tomorrow, breakfast Wednesday.
Yep. So
going on?
yeah, so we've got lunch bunch. We've got lunch bunch tomorrow, and that's at Hilltop. And then we're also doing something brand new this year. It's called Business Over Breakfast. So another brand new type of thing that we're bringing in this year. So once again, trying to do something for our membership and all our members. So.
Is that a 7 a.m. breakfast or 10-ish?
10-ish.
Well,
She
for me
likes
and you,
a-
it'd be like a 10-ish, but for the
She likes a
regular folks,
brunch,
yeah, it's
a
like-
business over brunch meeting rather than a.
That's a great idea, Debbie. I'll take that back. Great, thank you.
Thanks, Omar. All right, next up, we've got our Downtown Business Alliance update. Young man.
Hello. Equally young man. Chris Schnell, 15654 East Pine Drop Avenue, Parker, Colorado, 80134. The chair of the Downtown Business Alliance Parker. And to the town council, town staff, it's an honor to be here. It's my first time as the chair. So I'm just humbled to be the steward of this position for the next couple of years, and hopefully I could do it justice. I was thinking the other day that we don't represent businesses big and small. We really represent businesses small and smaller. So I'm humbled to be this champion of the small business owner. I take it very seriously. And if anything is going to be the hallmark of my reign, then it would be the champion of the small business owner. So a couple quick updates. We don't have much going on right now, but we do have some regular periodic meetings scheduled with our government liaison committee and P3 and economic development, which I'm excited about having those on the calendar to bring the best of those departments to our membership. And currently we're talking to the chamber about Parker Days. I started out this year by canvassing a lot of our small business owners along Main Street to get a sense for what their experience was during Parker Days. And what I found was it wasn't what I expected. It really depends on the visibility of your business and what you're selling as to what kind of experience you have with Parker Days. So that was enlightening for me, and I think everyone should really know that. So to that end, we're speaking with the chamber right now. We've had one meeting, and it's been great. I have to say, under Kara's leadership, they're open. They're looking forward to hearing what we have to say, and I'm just humbled and excited and appreciative of having that opportunity to meet with them. And that is all I have for our DBA update.
Council, any questions?
I just want to say welcome, Chris. Appreciate your leadership. You've ran great meetings so far.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, and I look forward to 2 years of your reign.
Thank you.
Get a crown and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
All right, thanks,
Thank you.
Chris. All right, next up on our agenda are reports, items, and comments from mayor and council. How about we start with Mr. Rivero?
Don't start with me. Sorry.
Don't start with Mr. Rivero. How about we start? Let's shake it up a little bit. Why don't we start with Renee?
Is it public comment now?
Oh, I totally skipped public. Oh, well, I didn't skip it because we don't have anyone signed up for public comment. But normally, public comment section would have come right before this, and thank you for that reminder of it. That's for general public comment for items that are not on our agenda. If you're here for an item that's on our agenda, there will be public comment at that time when that one comes up. No action will be taken on this public comment because it is for general items that are not on our agenda. We do have a sign-up sheet, and we don't have anybody signed up, but if anyone wants to, I guess I could. Not seeing movement. All right. Reports. Renee.
Okay. So I got to meet with Rachel Robinson from Parker Adventist Hospital and got a nice update on all the things that they're doing for making a difference. So things like the Healing Arts Program, their Christmas store, the Cancer Center, their injury prevention programs, nurse education, their breast care center, and patient financial assistance. So if you're interested in that, please seek them out and find out all the good things they've got going on. And then we also had our finance liaison meeting. That was me and Mr. Dyack. And then our P3 liaison meeting, myself and Ms. Lewis. That's it.
Debbie.
P3 meeting last week went well. We had Parks and Rec meeting this afternoon. I'll let Jeff speak more on that. And last Wednesday, we had the State of the Town address with sponsored by the Rotary, and our previous Chief of Police, David King, was the citizen that was awarded, got the Citizen Award. So it was a really good meeting. And good job, Mayor, on your speech.
Thank you. John.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. I attended a Regional Transportation Committee meeting on the 18th. That is where DRCOG, RTD, and CDOT get together to discuss regional issues and, quite honestly, DRCOG's agenda for the very next day, which I attended the DRCOG monthly board meeting. The only item of interest, I think, is I was elected chair of DRCOG. So I will be chairing also the Regional Transportation Committee. I think Chris started the whole chair thing, so I figured I might as well kind of go with
Keep it
that.
rolling.
Keep it rolling. On the 27th, I chaired the E470 Finance Subcommittee. We did a few things. We're about ready to go out to refinance some debt here middle of the year. When we refinance debt, we'll get to level debt. That's been a 2004 board policy, so we're finally getting to a point where we can have some flexibility. Amongst the items being discussed is that how can we potentially reduce tolls? So that's forthcoming. It's in the mix, so to speak. On the 28th, I went down to the state capitol and met with Representative Gray and Senator Winters. They're both chairs of the transportation committees in their respective chambers on a legislative transportation update. Let's see, state of the county. Oh, today I participated in a state of the county filming. The county wanted to talk about the 1A transportation funds that got passed in November, so they had to get somebody to speak regionally, and that was me. So note, Mayor, if you ever attend DRCOG or E470, there is a pause in the anthem. Those are the only two positions I have where, from a cadence standpoint,
Wrong.
they do pause.
Wrong.
In the anthem or the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge. I'm sorry.
Why be a follower?
Right.
Why be be a leader?
Some people aren't followers, but most of the people just kind of pause. So it's conformity.
Well, it wasn't written that way. Jeff.
Good evening.
That was a pause right there.
kind of scared me.
It's like a sniper rifle.
Exactly,
Snuck up on
exactly.
you.
So as Council Member Lewis talked about, we had our Recreation Commission meeting with our new Recreation Department interim director, since we lost that old one, Mary Colton. So she did a fantastic job, and we appreciate it.
That old one.
But just to give
That old one.
you saw him in study session. I mean, so just to give an update on the O'Brien Pool project. So it is scheduled to open up May 25th. It is within or under budget, which congratulations to the team on that. And we'll be doing
Ahead of schedule and under.
ahead of schedule and under budget. We'll be doing a grand opening on June 19th from 5 to 7, so, count your calendars early. But just some points on there. So we've gone from 120 to now 250 seats. We've more than doubled the stage structures that are now available out there. But I think what's equally important to that is that we have gone now from using, with the upgrades to the water pumping facility and treatment facilities, we've gone from using 120,000 gallons a month to using 16,000 gallons a month at the pool. So Jim's expecting something from Parker Water and Sand. We don't think he's going to get it, but, on water conservation. But to the team,
Might get a
we'll talk afterwards what we can get in. There goes my rain at Parker Water and Sand. And Mary Colton just walked in, our new interim director. So thank you, Mary, for stepping up to that. Let's see, also on the O'Brien Playground, which is going to come just on the heels of the O'Brien Pool, is we've had 2 community workshops now and listed several public priorities that were identified. We're expecting to get cost estimates within the next couple weeks, and the estimated budget right now is about $1 million. But in terms of timelines, we're looking at closing at the fall and working through the wintertime and opening up at the first of spring of 2021. So it should be good. I also had Chamber Liaison this week and also State of the Town, which I thought your speech, Mayor, was fantastic.
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
That's it for me.
Cheryl.
Okay, well, I was also at the State of the Town, and yes, the mayor did a fantastic job, but
Thank you.
the staff who put together that video, hands to you, that was awesome. I really enjoyed that. So I've been to the Douglas County Housing Authority. We have an ongoing project in Castle Rock that we're refinancing, and we're going to be starting a new adjacent project there, and we're looking at purchasing another property there. We have a assisted living, actually 55 and older at this point. I think there's going to be one going in off of Lincoln and Meridian. Not in our jurisdiction, but that's one that we, work with as a county basis to get that done. And then I had my first unofficial meeting of the Greater Parker Foundation with our town administrator, and I'm looking forward to taking that in a whole new direction. So that's been it for me.
Okie dokie. Josh.
Sorry. Let's see. Last week, State of the Town, fabulous job, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Great job from the staff. Truly enjoyed the video. Well attended. Appreciate the support, especially IREA. Good speech from Mr. Mooney. And then I just want to remind the citizens, those riders of the P route or the 483, Thursday, 6 p.m. here in Town Hall is a meeting to discuss the proposed service reductions that Parker may receive. But if you want to come out and let RTD know how you would like to see some of your tax dollars spent and keep some of your tax dollars inside the town of Parker, please come here Thursday night at 6 p.m. That's all I got.
Okay. I want to underscore that from Josh, Thursday from 6 p.m. Even if you're not an active rider or participant in RTD, it would be advantageous for you to come out here and see, because they are a taxing agency who takes a lot of your money, and to see how it's being spent and the services they're providing to you guys. This last week for me, I had the honor of getting to speak at the Sagewood Middle School for the Cub Scout Blue and Gold banquet. I think this is the 11th year or 10th year or something like that I've gotten to do it. It's always a lot of fun. And then this last Wednesday was my last State of the Town address. So thank you guys for coming out and seeing me and not booing me or anything like that. And I do appreciate the Rotary Club for putting that on, and IREA for stepping up and being the major financial sponsor of that. So, all right, with that, let's go ahead and move on to the next item on our agenda. It's our consent agenda. Consent agenda items are considered to be routine, will be enacted with one motion and one vote, unless a council member asks to have something removed. Ordinances that are on the consent agenda are for introduction only and won't be removed for discussion. So in front of you, council, you have consent agenda items 7A through 7K.
I move to approve items 7A through 7K, please.
Second?
Got a motion from Josh and a second from Renee. Council, in just a sec, your little voting box is going to pop up, and click your choice. Motion passes unanimously. Next item on our agenda are our public hearings, item 8. So 8A is a public hearing for ordinance number 3.262.1, rezoning on second reading. This was continued from February 3rd, 2020. This is a bill for an ordinance to amend the Dransfeldt Place Development Guide pursuant to the Town of Parker Land Development Ordinance and amending the zoning ordinance and map to conform therewith. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, you ready?
Yes.
Rock and roll. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Town Council. This is a proposal for an amendment to the Dransfeldt Place Plan Development. The applicant, Colorado Steel Systems, is proposing to amend the Dransfeldt Place PD to allow for certain light industrial uses to be changed from a use by special review to a use by right. The Community Development Department has co-signed this application in accordance with Section 13.04.240 of the LDO. The 12 parcels within this development are located on the west side of Dransfeldt Road between Lincoln Meadows Parkway and Plaza Drive. Within this development, there are 2 existing storage facilities located on Lot 8 and Lot 10. These were approved by a use by special review in 2016 in accordance with the requirements of the Storage Uses Overlay District Ordinance approved in 2016. These uses are considered legal nonconforming uses today. Lots 3A and 3B are also under construction with a new light industrial building, and the remaining lots are vacant. The Parker 2035 Master Plan shows these properties located within the light industrial character area. The proposed rezoning will allow for limited light industrial uses by right on these properties, which aligns with the master plan. The existing plan development use table was evaluated against the LDO's light industrial zoning district as they relate to uses by right. The list of uses has been consolidated to reduce redundant uses. Uses not compatible within a light industrial district have been reduced, and all uses have been reworded to align with those found in the current LDO. Additionally, the Build 2 line adjacent to Dransfeldt Road has been updated to require all buildings within the planned development adjacent to Dransfeldt Road to meet the commercial design standards. Staff met with the property owners for the 2 existing storage uses within this development. Based on this discussion, staff has included the footnote for many storage warehouses, including recreational vehicle storage within the PD guide. The intent of this language is to provide clarity that the existing uses can continue as legal nonconforming per the town's LDO. Additionally, staff has heard concerns for this area as it relates to heavy industrial uses. In order to provide clarity, staff has updated the intent with the definition of light industrial. The purpose of this language is to ensure that all uses are light industrial in nature. There are 9 criteria used to evaluate a rezoning application. The criteria ensure that the use will be consistent with the surrounding area, will not result in overuse of the land, create traffic congestion, or be detrimental to the town. Staff has reviewed the proposal as outlined in staff's report and has determined that the project is consistent with the master plan. The project satisfies the 9 criteria required in the LDO for a rezone, and the public notice requirements have been met. Planning Commission heard this case on February 13th and recommended approval. Therefore, staff and Planning Commission recommend that the Town Council approve the rezoning request to allow certain light industrial uses as a use by right in the Dransfeldt Place Plan Development as outlined in staff's report. Staff is available for any questions, and the applicant is also available as well.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Does the applicant have any additional presentation?
Not tonight.
Not tonight. All right, wonderful. Before we open public comment, council, do you have any questions for staff?
Not yet.
Nope. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and open public comment at 7:29 p.m. If there's anyone here wishing to address council on this item, this is your time. Bertocchi girls, you want to come down? No? I think it's interesting because one was like, Dad, the other was like, maybe. Okay. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close public comment at 7:30 PM, and I would entertain further discussion or a motion on this item.
I appreciate staff's work. I appreciate the momentum that the applicant provided. This is a correct zoning. It's a rezoning to a correct zoning, in my opinion. I would like to see get out of PD, but this is still a close to a true zoning and a proper use, in my opinion. So thank you all very much for your work. With that, I move to approve ordinance number 3.262.1 on second reading.
Second.
We've got a motion from Josh and a second. Was that you, Debbie? Second from Debbie. Council, please vote when your box pops up. Is that quiet again? Are we waiting? Who are we waiting on? Oh, there. It literally, just as you said that, it popped up on his computer. I could see it. All right, motion passes unanimously. Next item up is item 8B. This is a tax and fee assistant program agreement for Euclid Chocolates Corporation.
Cool name.
Matt, you are going to be our leader.
It's been a while since I've been here.
Anytime you get to present on chocolate, that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool deal, huh?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, it's nice to be in front of you tonight, and I'm excited to bring before you an application with the town to participate in the Town of Parker's Tax and Fee Assistance Program pursuant to Municipal Code 4.02. Euclid Avenue Chocolates, more commonly known as Kilwins Parker, has made that application. I suspect most of you have been there, but Kilwins is certainly a highly interactive retail chocolate and fudge and ice cream shop in the historic section of downtown Parker. Business is locally owned and operated franchise, the location of the Petoskey, Michigan-based chocolate manufacturer who supports more than 170 or 140 of those stores nationwide. The owner and operator, Susan Bertacci, is here tonight and is available for any comments or questions you might have. Is both a resident of Parker and has strong family ties in the community. The owner has entered into a 5-year lease on a 1,200 square foot retail space facing Victorian Drive and backfilling a space that was formerly occupied by Victoria Marie Jewelry, who moved to the new hotel. So this is indeed an additional retailer in the downtown area. The capital investment is an estimated $100,000, excluding furniture, fixtures, and equipment, which amounted to an additional $300,000. Annual sales are estimated to be $650,000 initially, growing to approximately $825,000 a year over the first 5 years. The operation will employ approximately 10 individuals when fully operational and will grow with the associated growth in sales, projected payroll then of about $100,000. The new location is currently open and operating and exceeding the expectations of its owners and those of the franchisee. The project does represent a significant personal investment in the town and meets the following goals of the town's tax and fee assistance program in the fact that it creates new jobs, it creates new sales tax, it contributes to the diversity of jobs and employment opportunities in the town, and represents retail diversity. The financial impact expected with this agreement authorizes a rebate of 50% of increased sales taxes, excluding parks and recreation taxes, for a period not to exceed 3 years, and with a maximum rebate of all taxes that shall not exceed $25,000. If you have any questions, I'm prepared to answer those, and I know Susan would like to make just a comment to the council as well.
Okay, before we have Susan come on up, before we have Susan come up, council, do you have any questions?
Maybe
for
one
Matt?
of your daughters.
No?
Just real quick for clarity, this is a rebate program, so all taxes are paid, and then we
Correct.
have a rebate program to rebate money back to them, but they have to raise all taxes first, correct?
That is correct. So the tax and fee assistance program only rebates a portion of those taxes, the sales taxes, that are generated and paid to the town 1 quarter in arrears.
Thanks, sir.
So 100% of the sales taxes will be paid. This would anticipate rebating 50% of that for a period of 3 years, not to exceed $25,000.
Thanks, sir.
Other questions? No? Susan, do you have anything you'd like to add? You're not required to.
I don't really have anything to add, but I feel like I need to because we.
Because Matt threw you under the bus? Is that what happened?
I appreciate, I used to own another business here, and you guys helped us out with that business too, with the BIT program, and it was very successful. And we plan on Kilwins Parker being another very successful business in Parker, and we, again, thank you so much for offering this program, and I'm glad that somebody brought it to my attention, and we took full advantage of it. So we're happy to be here, and thanks again.
Thank you very much. Council, do you have any questions for Susan?
No, I obviously a dedicated businesswoman, a dedicated citizen, very active in the community, successful with the first try at business in town, and obviously will be successful, in my opinion, with the second business. Well-planned and very patient in getting her location, and she's hit the ground running.
Okay. Other questions, comments, Council?
I'm just checking again, but any samples? You brought samples?
Oh.
One more time, just checking, no.
We can take a field trip after
You take a
this.
field trip. Yeah. Jim, what's the appropriate procedure to take a field trip down the street to? I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. So
Just bring
all right.
your wallet.
Bring my wallet. All right. We're going to go ahead and open it up for public comment at 7:36 p.m. If there's anyone here wishing to address council on this item. See. Oh. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Go, Chris.
Name and address for the record, please. And you know the routine. The clock above me is going to start going once you start talking after your name and address. And when it gets to 0, I'm going to give you the hook.
Chris Schnell, 15654 East Pine Drop Avenue here in lovely Parker, Colorado, 80134. So I've gotten a chance to know Susan and her family and have experienced firsthand the amazing chocolates that she has at that store and the ice cream, and had the opportunity to give away some of her gift cards at Legend High School, and the kids were falling all over themselves to get down there and try some of that stuff. So I just want to throw my support behind her and her business and her family. I know the amount of, Matt just listed the amount of money that went into opening that place up. So anything the town could do to help bring basically a Midwest and East Coast milestone business to downtown Parker, which is pretty awesome, because here in Colorado, they're where? Boulder, Fort Collins, and Parker? That's it. So that's pretty cool for us to have that here. So that's all I have to say.
Okay.
I yield the rest of my time back to you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else for public comment? All right, we're going to go ahead and close public comment at 7:37 p.m., and I would entertain further discussion or a motion, please.
I'll move to approve the tax and fee program assistance agreement for Euclid Avenue Chocolates Corporation.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion from Cheryl and a second from Jeff. Council, please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Next item up on our agenda, item 9, which are ordinances. 9A is ordinance number 1.544 on second reading. This is a bill for an ordinance conveying certain real property by easement to Parker Water and Sanitation District for the Cherry Creek Interceptor Project. I like any project with the word interceptor in it. Alex, you're going to be the leader.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. So this item accompanies a request from Parker Water and Sanitation District for the dedication of permanent and temporary easements over portions of 10 separate town-owned parcels. These easements are being requested to accommodate Parker Water and Sand's proposed Cherry Creek Interceptor project. The Interceptor project is a very large undertaking that Parker Water has been designing and the town's been reviewing with them for some time now. It involves the installation of approximately 2.5 miles of new sanitary sewer main, with the main goal being to connect the north and south Parker Water treatment plants or reclamation plants. This main will really accommodate the increasing demand that Parker Water is seeing. It's going to divert additional flows to the north plant, which is currently under expansion. So in time, that plant will have the capacity to handle the additional flows that Parker Water is seeing. A secondary goal of the project is to take offline 3 existing sanitary lift stations that are costly for the district to maintain. So generally, the proposed alignment for the sewer main attempts to follow the Cherry Creek corridor. And this was done really with the main goal of avoiding expensive and impacting disturbances or disruptions to the town roadways and traffic. The majority of the main is proposed to be open trenched, with the exception of the major roadway crossings, which will be bored underground. So to provide the council with some more detail regarding the exact town properties that will be impacted by this, the project has been broken into 3 separate kind of zones, north, south, and central, on this and the 2 following slides. As I mentioned, there are 10 separate town-owned parcels that are impacted by this request. All of these are either zoned as open space or they're used for stormwater drainage purposes. So this first slide shows the south area of the project. The town-owned parcels are shown in yellow. The proposed permanent sewer easements are shown in the blue dashed line, and the green hatching is a temporary construction easement for each area. So this starts at the Parker Water South Water Treatment Plant that's located off 20 Mile Road at the Joint Service Facility. So starting with the line shown directly west of that, that is kind of a sideline over to the Clark Farms lift station. So that line would allow that lift station to be decommissioned. It does go through 2 town-owned open space parcels that encompass a part of Cherry Creek there. Shifting back to the north of the South Treatment Plant, the first parcel there is a town-owned stormwater detention facility that line would cross. The line then heads north up to Lincoln Avenue. It really just skirts that larger town-owned open space parcel. It's largely contained within private easements on the vehicle vault properties there as it goes north to Lincoln. That line will be bored underneath Lincoln Avenue to avoid any traffic disruptions there. Moving on to the central area of the alignment, the line will travel through the Parker Auto Plaza development here adjacent to CarMax. Again, there are 2, kind of on the south end here, there are 2 town-owned open space parcels adjacent to Cherry Creek that the line will kind of skirt again as it travels mostly in private easements there through some detention ponds. As it goes north and approaches Pine Lane, it will cross 1 large town-owned open space parcel there that encompasses Baldwin Gulch. The smaller parcel there against Pine Lane is another stormwater detention facility. The sideline you can see heading west there along Pine Lane, that's another side chute off to another lift station that serves Challenger Park, so that will decommission that lift station. Again, the line will be then bored under Pine Lane as it heads north. It'll travel through the West Creek development, where, again, there are town-owned open space parcels. There's 2 of them there, 1 large one and 1 smaller one to the north that will be impacted by this line. Again, the Parker Water does have a long stretch of private easement there through the West Creek development that they can utilize for this. Finally, it'll be bored under E470, where it will tie into the Parker Water North plant there to conclude the project. So a few of the project requirements that the town and Parker Water have determined through the review. First of all, a town grading permit will be required for this work. Parker Water will have to restore all disturbed areas to town standards as a part of this project. Tree mitigation for all impacted trees will be required in accordance with town standards. Our community development staff is currently working on that with Parker Water and Sand and their contractor and engineer. As I mentioned, the major roadway crossings will all be required to be bored underground to avoid major traffic impacts. There will be some minor traffic impacts to Pine Lane. Parker Water will have to tie into a manhole that's actually located within the roadway, so there will be a short period of time where Pine Lane is impacted. And then finally, we've worked to coordinate to make sure that the stormwater ponds can function during this project when they're disturbed. So the details of the actual easement request. The request is for approximately 4 acres of permanent, non-exclusive easement, and then about 6 acres of temporary easement that'll just be good for the construction of the work. The widths of these easements do vary depending on where you're at, as you saw on the maps. I believe Parker Water's goal is to have a 50-foot easement corridor through the entire run, but the majority of the easements on town property will be much more narrow than that, as they're kind of skirting our property boundaries there. And then finally, the easements are proposed to be granted as part of an ongoing easement and right-of-way exchange between the town and Parker Water and Sand, excuse me. Our staffs have worked to cultivate a good cooperative relationship over the past couple of years, and we think this exchange we've had ongoing has been pretty successful. Some examples of what the town has received in this swap. Last year, Parker Water and Sand dedicated 1.5 acres of right-of-way along Stroh Road. So it'll be on the south side of Stroh Road, west of Cherry Creek on a Parker Water-owned property there that we need for the future Stroh Road expansion. Our next request of Parker Water will be a trail easement, actually on that same property for a future segment of the Lemon Gulch Trail. So town staff's currently doing some preliminary design to determine where that corridor will land. Parker Water's committed to dedicate that easement to us on their property when we have that information for them. So that concludes staff's presentation. Rebecca Tejada with Parker Water and Sand is here to make a brief statement as well, but I can answer any questions you have before she gets up.
Excellent. Before we have Rebecca up, council, any questions? Josh?
First of all, can we have Farnsworth update the maps? I think they're from 2003. I'm just kidding. They are pulled up, though. West Creek's not even on there. It's old. Quick questions. Open trench, is that open trench through the creek, boring under the creek, existing bore lines?
Yeah, do you need me to come here?
Actually, if you would, yes.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I believe the plan is to open trench the creeks, and I believe they've obtained all permits necessary to do so.
Okay, excellent. And then they'll be at the same level as the current lines that go underneath the creek? The grade will be, I mean, how far into the creek is it?
So when we go under the creek, we.
If you could come down just so the microphone can pick you up on it.
So
Go ahead and throw your name and address while you're up there, just so we-
Absolutely. So Rebecca Tejada with Parker Water, and the address is 18100 East Woodman Drive.
Okay.
So yeah, when we did the calculations to basically not tunnel, but to put it across Cherry Creek, we have to keep it at a depth that's below scour depth.
Yep.
So that's basically how we do it. We figure out what that depth is going to be, and then we put the pipe that deep, and then we protect it with a steel sheeting that we put kind of parallel to the pipe.
Absolutely. Excellent. So then, at least my next question, I appreciate any time we can lose lift stations, especially within the creek. So I'm very, very happy about that. But how do we stay at that level that lose lift stations? Is the north plant that much lower, that the grade is?
Right. So we actually had to keep this particular pipeline. It's very vertically constrained because of those reasons. We actually lowered the headworks at the north plant, so we made it deeper at the north plant so that we could get the fall in order to be able to decommission those lift stations.
You're pumping at the north plant to get up to the north
Well,
plant?
we have a gravity fall all the way from the south plant to the north plant.
Okay.
But we had to lower our headworks, this is where everything dumps into, in order to get that fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I'm ecstatic about losing lift
Yeah, I
stations.
think a lot of folks in Clark Farms will be ecstatic.
So with lift stations, though, we have differential flow meters that if there's a loss, we can tell if there's a failure. Without that, this running near the creek, is there any protections for seepage or anything in the creek in the watershed?
Well, just our normal maintenance. So we do it's basically every 3 years, we clean and televise all of the sewers in our system. And so we will visually inspect the sewers at least every 3 years.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
Other questions? Cheryl?
Yeah, how long do you anticipate this project to take? And how much diversion are you going to have to do with Cherry Creek?
Sure. So we expect the construction to be about a year long. And the parts where we divert the creek, ideally that is days, not weeks to do that
I would
work.
assume you go to low flow.
Yeah, we'll try to plan that accordingly, but we'll definitely have to bypass around the construction. So we'll have a lot of pumps in the ground pumping around where we're putting the pipe. I'm actually really excited to see the process.
Other questions?
So am I.
Did you have a presentation on top of that, or did you?
Alex did such a good job. I wrote down some notes I was going to say.
Oh, did you see the look he just did too?
covered
He's
them
like,
all.
yes, I did.
Oh, too bad Tom's out of town.
I know.
Other than letting you know that when a pipeline is 36 inches or greater, we like to refer to it as an interceptor.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I love
But I
it,
would like
learning.
to thank the town. They have been great to work with. I've been with Parker Water for the past 7 years. And I mean, Alex in particular has been such a wealth of information when we do these engineering projects. So it has been fantastic working with the town on these projects.
Oh, Alex. Nice.
We'll make sure Tom watches this.
Hey, it's good to know before his 21st birthday that he's got that.
So just one more, sorry.
Oh, wait, of course, Josh has one more
All right,
question.
so the whole thing gets installed, but it's not live until,
Until the north plant is complete.
okay, so there's no tie-in to existing sewer lines except for that manhole.
Right, so when we connect the lift stations to that, we'll have the connection all there ready, and then once the north plant is ready to accept the flow, we'll go in there and we actually kind of crack the pipe open and then let the flow start going by gravity to the interceptor versus
Okay.
through the pump station.
Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and open it up for public comment at 7:49 PM. If there's anyone here wishing to address council on interceptors or cracking pipe open or any of that stuff. Seeing none, we're going to close public comment at 7:50 PM, and I'd entertain further discussion or a motion, please.
I'll move to approve ordinance number 1.544 on second reading.
Second.
We have a motion from Cheryl and a second from Renee. Council, please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Now, Rebecca, it was 36 inches, right? 36 inches or more, it's an interceptor? All right, that's sweet. Awesome, thank you. All right, no, I'm going to use that in
Where's this going?
Oh, I'm going to use that one a lot. Dad trivia kind of stuff. I bet you don't know what a pipe 36 inches big is. It's an interceptor. All right, next item up is item 9B. This is ordinance number 9.269.3 on second reading. This is a bill for an ordinance approving the Second Amendment to the agreement regarding design and construction of drainage and flood control improvements for Lemon Gulch downstream of Crowfoot Valley Road, agreement number 17-06.08C, project number 106741, by and between Urban Drainage and Flood Control District, DBA Mile High Flood District, and the Town of Parker. Now, Alex, I know you're sitting there, and it says just Alex on here. Michael, we haven't heard from you yet, have we? Okay.
No, so I would like to introduce.
Thank you. That's what I was going to
Yes,
ask. Can you
absolutely.
introduce him,
So
please?
this is Michael Grabchek. He's our stormwater project engineer. Been with the town about a year now, correct? So with Jacob James's departure, Michael's picked up a lot of the slack on a lot of the stormwater duties and projects, and he's doing a great job. So he's very excited to make his council debut tonight.
Nice. Is that the polite way of saying you drew the short straw? That you have to? All right. Excellent. Welcome. We'll make it as painless as we can.
Well, thank you again, Mr. Mayor. This item proposes a second amendment to an IGA between the town and the Mile High Flood District. The purpose of this amendment is for the town and the district to codify final funding contributions necessary for the Lemon Gulch improvements downstream of Crowfoot Valley Road. So to give you a quick overview of this project is located on the east side or the downstream side of Crowfoot Valley Road, located south of Stroh Road, adjacent to the Meadowlark development. This section of Lemon Gulch is currently unimproved, and the master plan stabilization improvements are now proposed to be constructed. This work will be done in conjunction with the Meadowlark development out there, which is currently under construction. Meadowlark has provided the majority of the funding for this project, and their crews have completed the initial grading work on the channel banks that was needed to be completed prior to our channel improvements going in. And the reason that an IGA was needed for this project is because it's planned as a fee and lieu project through the Mile High Flood District. I know you guys have heard that term before. We currently have several other projects that are going to be proposed as fee and lieu projects. They're in the design phase, so we thought this might be a good, quick opportunity to give you a refresher on what these projects are and why the town is willing to engage in them at all. When we talk about a fee and lieu project, essentially what we mean is it's an opportunity for a developer to satisfy an obligation to construct drainageway improvements by instead actually funding a project that the Mile High Flood District administers with guidance from the town. So from the town's perspective, the biggest reason that we like these projects is because we get to control it. We get to control the design. We get to pick the engineer. We can pick an engineer that might have the right skill set for this project. We can try new, possibly innovative design approaches. And the bottom line is we get to determine what we think the best solution is for the drainage way and steer the design that way. So that's the biggest reason we like it. We also like that, especially if it's run through Mile High Flood District, they have preferred contractors. They have a preferred contractors list that they bid all work through. So those contractors know the ins and outs of drainageway work. We almost always get a better finished product if one of those contractors is involved. So we see a lot of benefits on our end. From the developer benefits, really, it's the schedule. I mean, these projects typically cost a little bit more for the developer because we're kind of driving the design, but the schedule impacts they get with not having to go through federal permitting that typically goes with these projects, they see that as a major benefit. So typically, they're willing to engage in these. We have a number of other ones here that are upcoming that I've listed. These will probably be brought before you in the next couple months to 6 months here. We think it's a good program. We support these, and just want to make sure you guys understood why we bring these before you, because we see it as a benefit to the town. With that, I'm going to let Michael take over and discuss a few of the actual details of this particular project.
Thank you, Alex. So as you all now know, I'm Michael Grabchek. Nice to meet all of you. So I just wanted to give a little bit of additional detail on the project for this ordinance. So this project provides many benefits to the town, and I just kind of wanted to list a few of them for you. The project's going to further enhance the protection for the Crowfoot Valley Bridge over Lemon Gulch. It's going to expand the 100-year floodplain to allow safer passage of the 100-year flows. It's going to lower erosion along Lemon Gulch within the project reach, which is also going to help reduce the sediment load going into Cherry Creek. And as you may have noticed from the vicinity map, we're right next to Cherry Creek. So along with this project, Alex mentioned the partnership with the Mile High Flood District. With this partnership, this allows us to also leverage funds from the Mile High Flood District for maintenance projects in the future, ongoing maintenance on a normal basis as well. In addition, the tie-ins for this project allow for future degradation of the channel without hurting any existing infrastructure such as the bridge. So one of the challenges we had with this project was ensuring that the tie-in structures properly accounted for erosion of the neighboring reaches, both upstream and downstream of this project, are unimproved. It's a very sandy system, and therefore we expect degradation on both those tie-in drop structures. This will allow us to keep those drop structures in place without fear of failure as those reaches continue to degrade. So moving into the funding, which Alex also touched on, I've kind of broken out the total project contributions for this project. As you can see, it's primarily developer funded. So with this amendment, the town will add $400,000 funding to the project, and the Mile High Flood District will add an additional $200,000 to the project. So town contributions to this were included within the approved 2020 budget. With respect to schedule, preliminary design for this project started way back in 2017. Permitting is near complete, and our construction is anticipated to begin this spring, pending the funding of the project. And as such, we recommend approval of this ordinance.
Okay. Thank you very much. Did a good job.
Well,
How'd it feel?
Not terrible.
Not terrible? All right. Hold on tight. Buckle up.
All right.
Josh, what questions do you have?
So the picture, I appreciate the picture because I think it's very, to say it's sandy is an understatement.
Yeah.
It is a sandbar that runs through the middle. There's already, you can see bank decay and cutting. That sand eventually goes somewhere. Unfortunately, it goes into the creek, which creates grades. And then we get down cutting on the creek, which is even more expensive because the flows are higher. And so to stop it here is priceless, which I think goes to say why we would rather do it than an engineer that they hire. Yeah, it's a one big system, as I've learned in my short 7 years, that it's you got to take care of it upstream. Otherwise, it gets real expensive closer you get to the reservoir. So I appreciate the work. I appreciate the tie-in, and I appreciate the fee in lieu. I think it's a brilliant idea, and I think it's going to work well for all of these reaches we're looking at. So thank you.
Other questions?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay, Cheryl?
This area historically has had flash flooding. How will this project impact that kind of an issue?
So this project will actually enhance the floodplain. You can see it a little bit in this picture, actually. So on the left side of this picture, you can kind of see how the banks are a little bit more vertical than they show on the right side of the picture. So what we've done is kind of widen out the floodplain as much as possible to allow for a lower depth of 100-year flood events. And it'll also allow for safer velocities throughout the corridor.
What kind of reduction in velocities will you be looking at?
I don't have those numbers offhand, but the depth will reduce them. Sorry.
So what kind of impact do you see to the 100-year flood issue?
So the impact to the 100-year floodplain, this is currently a mapped 100-year floodplain from FEMA, or with FEMA. So the impact to the vertical elevation of the floodplain varies from 2 feet to as little as maybe a 1/4 foot, and that's both up and down. And then so With the floodplain permitting, we've sent notification to the neighboring property owners, and they've had a chance to comment on this project and provide feedback. And we've been working with both neighboring property owners and responded to their comments through FEMA.
Okay.
Thank you.
Other questions?
I think it's important to point out the involvement of Mile High Flood District or urban flood, urban Mile High Flood District. This increased velocities or increased volumes, excuse me, there's development upstream. There's development in Castle Rock upstream of this, which creates more impervious surfaces, which creates more water in the stream bed, and that is directly relatable to the sandbars that we're seeing here. That water makes itself way to the creek much faster. So I think this is a timely improvement, and I'm glad that, believe it or not, I'm going to say this on the record, I'm glad the development came along to instigate this catch. It would be a mess when the sand eventually made it, and shortly made it to the creek. This is a lot of sand coming to the creek, so I'm glad it's there.
Okay. No other questions? Did you know that a 36-inch pipe is called an interceptor?
I do now. That was something I learned today.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and open it up for public comment at 8 o'clock if there's anyone wishing to address council on sandbars. Seeing none, we'll close public comment at 8:01, and I'd entertain further discussion or a motion, please.
I move to approve ordinance number 9.269.3 on second reading.
Second.
Motion by Josh. That would be a second by Renee. Now's your chance to vote.
I want you to need trivia in your next speech.
You want trivia in my next meeting? Motion passes unanimously. Last item on our agenda tonight is item 9C. This is ordinance number 5.06.44 on second reading. This is a bill for an ordinance to amend sections 7.04.010, 7.04.020, and 7.04.030 of the Parker Municipal Code concerning abandoned vehicles. Jamie.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We are here for our second reading. We are requesting an amendment to the three ordinances that the mayor just read out loud to allow for citations being placed on vehicles that have been abandoned in public parking lots. We've received information that some of the public parking lots have been used for vehicle storage. Some vehicles do not appear to be operable in condition. So we are asking for the ability to put a notice on those vehicles after 72 hours in the lots and allow for, or after 48 hours and allow for 24 hours before those vehicles are cited. There's a few lots that we will be focusing on initially where there have been problems in the past. We are requesting that the chief of police or his designee be allowed to declare a weather-related event in the event that we do have a major snowstorm or something that would prohibit people from being able to move their vehicles safely. And in those cases, the timelines would be extended. Based on that, we are asking for council to approve the amendment to the three ordinances drafted. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Wow, that was impressive. Was that like your second time up here, third time? You just killed it.
Something like that.
Killed it. Council, questions? Josh, how about you?
So the last part you said about the chief or his designee relaxing the ordinance, is there any way to tie it to policy? Let's say the snow route is in effect, the ordinance gets relaxed. How do we post to the public that it's okay? How does the public find out?
I anticipate it's something that the police department could put on their Twitter feed or their Facebook page. If we are relaxing the ordinance, I know that with the snow routes, it's above 2 inches. It's something we can work with Public Works as well, as Public Works wanted to make sure that they weren't tasked with potentially having to move or tow vehicles in extreme conditions if there is a weather-related event. So we certainly can declare a policy specifically what we want to do, and the police department can put it out on their Twitter page, which is where they're doing most of their information.
Okay. Other questions? No? All right, let's open it up for public comment at 8:04 p.m. Someone's got to have some good things for Jamie. Come on down. Mary, got some good questions for Jamie? You want to? Don't let the fact that she's an attorney scare you. Come on.
I'm scared. There's so much finance in the room.
I know, that's what I was wondering too. Like 3/4 of our finance department are up in the room here. I'm like, what's going on, people? All right, well, not seeing any movement. We're going to go ahead and close public comment at 8:04, and I would entertain further discussion or a motion, please.
I move to approve ordinance number 5.06.44 on second reading.
Second.
Motion by Josh and a second by Renee. Council, please vote. Motion passes unanimously. And with that, no further business before council, we will adjourn at 8:04 p.m. Have a good evening.